So without further ado, it is indeed my pleasure and also Daniel's pleasure, because Daniel was instrumental in arranging this with Martin. So welcome to this webinar. Thank you very much for giving of your time. I know how valuable it is, Martin. Martin is located in Austria. Thank you for your very eager willingness to, in fact, to present this for us this evening. We're really thrilled. I had the pleasure of watching this during Fun with Relux several weeks ago, and I'm sure that you'll all be enthralled in what you see. So without further ado, it is over to Martin.
Thank you very much, Philip, for the warm introduction. And of course, thank you all for joining in today. It's a pleasure to be here with you together. I'm really looking forward to dig into 3D scanning and light planning with you all together. And I would like to start by sharing my screen with you as we are going to check a couple of slides. I know no one likes long PowerPoint, so this will be not too much. And then we will do a kind of a live workflow, and we also take a look into the future a little bit as far as we can see today. And then, of course, at the end, we are happy to discuss on this and also to answer questions. So as Philip has shown me all the features of this nice platform, I will start with the first one. So if everything was right, then you will see my starting slide now. Okay, so as we have, Philip, do you see my screen? Yes. Just a second.
Yes.
Yes, you see it. Okay, that's great. So as I mentioned, we are going into the world of 3D scanning and light planning, two worlds that I both find very, very interesting. And then we do a demo. So we do a scan and then also hand this over to the Relux software. And then we go to the Outlook and the Q&A. So before we do this, we take a very short journey back again to summer. We sent our employees with the latest version of Metaroom into their summer vacation and told them, if you see something that you think you can scan, then do it. And this is one of the scans that has been produced there. So this is a screen record from basically one of the first multi-level scans we've done. So here you can see two very small rooms, but they are oriented on top of each other. This is one of the major features we have released a couple of days ago, that we can now arrange different scans on top and next to each other, the so-called multi-room feature. And we will dig into this a little bit later. So 3D capture in general is complex and time consuming, and this is exactly what we want to tackle with Metaroom. So if you go for the industry expert systems, then the data collection and processing is pretty time consuming. It's most of the time you need high technical expertise, and the equipment is expensive. So this is the reason why the major part of 3D plans are today built up from 2D plans or you go out and measure and then draw the 3D plan in an Autodesk software or something similar. And this, of course, is a lot of handwork. So the solution for this, we believe, is Metaroom, an app that allows to scan and also to hand over this 3D captured data to very expert software packages like the Relux one we are digging into today. We are in different integration projects. Of course, the most important one today and also the one with the most experience is the one for light planning. We also have a connection to Wi-Fi, network planning, and to computer-aided facility management. But today, we totally focus on the first one, which is the Relux interface. So why is this so important that we go deep into such an interface? We met Relux people over a year ago, and we decided to create the so-called Metaroom Relux interface, which is a very powerful data interface. And it does not only transfer geometry from the Metaroom app to the light planning software, it does a lot more than that. As we can see here already, it also transfers all kind of assets like doors, windows, tables, chairs, and it transfers colors and the values of total reflectivity. So when we hand over a scan to Relux, we do not only get the geometry, but we get a full project, also including the project tree, as we can see it here. We also get already the evaluation areas prepared, and we see here the asset table, also the reflectivity value is transferred. So one of the biggest advantage is that when we hand over data from Metaroom to Relux, we not only hand over geometry, but we hand over like a complete Relux project. So this saves a lot of time here. Then aligned end user support is something very important. So we are providing support and information from both sides. From Amrax side, we provide it for the Metaroom. You can see the link here. And also from the Relux side, we provide it again here on their platform. So help and education content is coming from both companies and it's aligned together. So what are the requirements to do a scan with Metaroom? The first one is you need an iPhone 12, 13, 14, or 15 Pro, or an iPad Pro that was built from 2020 onwards. You also would need the Apple iOS 17 update. This is the latest iOS version that has been released a couple of weeks ago. And then you can just download Metaroom from the App Store, and you can go there on your device and just search for Metaroom. So that's probably the easiest way. So typically when we present this slide and also when we talk with people around this, the first question we get is, does this also work on Android? And of course, we totally understand this. And I want to discuss with you a little bit why we are only on the Apple ecosystem today. So the Metaroom technology is based on the so-called LiDAR sensor. So it's this black dot here. You can see it on the left side in the picture. It's around the camera sensor package. And what this sensor allows is that it takes real depth data. So it's a real depth sensor, and only the Apple Pro devices do have such a sensor. So Why is this sensor so important? It delivers robust and consistent depth measurements. There are also apps that can measure depth on the Android ecosystem, but they are more built for augmented reality applications where robustness, like we need it here for this industry case in light planning, we really want to rely on this data. We need consistent data, we need robust data. So in this case, we need this LiDAR sensor. This is the reason why Metaroom is only running on iOS and Apple Pro devices today. We see a trend that also other mobile phones do look into this kind of technology, and as soon as we see LiDAR technology adopting on the Android ecosystem, we are ready to expand our operations also there. So it's not like we don't want to go to Android, it's more like we want to give you the best experience, and this only works with LiDAR today. So as for every application, preparation is the key to success. So when we do such a scan, so we have now the Pro device, we have the Metaroom app installed. So what are the most important things to prepare? What we often see is that we have troubles in recognizing windows, and this is most of the time connected to curtains and the shades. So typically, before you start the scan, you should go through the rooms you want to scan, and you just open all the shades and all the curtains and close all doors and windows, and then the recognition of these assets is very, very stable. So this should be done before we start the scan. Another thing is that the chairs should be a little bit separated from the table. Otherwise, it can be that chairs are not recognized because they are below the table, and then the sensors can't see them well enough. And also, if the chair is too close to the table, the chair can also receive the color from the table. As we can see it here, these chairs are brown leather, but as they are too close to the table, the chairs did get the color from the table. So just separate them a little bit, like 20 centimeters, and then all should be good. Another thing is that if possible, no persons should sit on chairs. In general, the app only recognizes things that are like trained, and we did not train with any people. So every person that is in the scan is basically not good. So of course, sometimes you can't avoid it. But if someone is sitting on a chair, it's very likely that the chair is not recognized. So just make sure as far as possible that this doesn't happen. Okay, then let's dig into a scan. We decided to record this prior to the meeting. It's the live version. We also tried to do it with the platform we are using here with Click Meeting, but unfortunately, Click Meeting does not provide a screen share on iOS. So this is a full screen record of a scan we have done here from my room and the next one. So I'm just opening the settings here at the beginning. You can change from metric to imperial, you can change the language, but that's not what we want to do today. We want to scan. So we click on scan, and the first thing that opens is we have to give the scan a name, like here, MH4. And then you always start in one of the edges of the room. So you move the app around a few seconds, and then already you see building up these white lines and also this small puppet house at the lower part of the screen. So this all helps you in guiding what did you scan already, like the chair has been recognized, the window has been recognized. This is not the final result, it's only user guidance. So we finalized this here, and now a new feature comes in place, and we will talk about this a little bit later. It's the point of interest. So you see this white target frame, and if you click it during a scan, you can create so-called points of interest. And we can do different things with them afterwards. Now for the first result here, we just see them as these red dots. So these are real 3D points generated from our targets we took during the scan. We can see that the scan result looks pretty good here, no matter if a small thing is missing. Now we go to the second room, and we also scan this without basically stopping. So we are doing our multi-room scan of an office. We go to the second room, and at the end, the app will stitch everything together. So we again start at the walls. We follow here again the table a little bit. Then we capture the chairs like this. When we do scan a glass wall like this one, we try to focus more on the frame of the glass wall, not so much directly on the glass. That also helps in recognizing. So again, we take some points of interest for later. Got this one, a second one. Now, we only take the lights of points of interest, but basically you can create points of interest everywhere. It can be a smoke detector or whatever asset you want to add. So this looks pretty good already. We just take the glass wall here. Yep, now we got it. And then we take the last corner of the tables here, like this. Now it's captured. And we click on the stop button here on the right side again. So we can see the second scan we have done, no matter that the scan did also capture a few things outside because we were moving before. Everything will be combined here perfectly, as you can see. So these are now the two rooms we have scanned before. This is still not the final result. It's only the scan overview. We could edit this manually, like we could click on a door and change it to a glass or something, but in this case, it's not necessary. I just show how this looks. Okay, now when this is done, this will be uploaded, and it will now take round about 30 seconds that everything will be calculated. And let me check here if we can just jump there. Yep. So now we can see the final result. This is just still preview mode on the app. And of course, we want to do light planning, so we will leave the app soon. We will see measurements already here to do a quick check. But what we really want to do is to go with this scene now into light planning. Okay, so we leave the scene, we go outside, we can close the app. We have captured everything successfully. And now I will exit here my screen and I will jump into the browser. So what I can do here is I can then go to studio.amrax.ai and I can click here on login. And I'm now logged in with the same credentials as in the app. And I will see all of my rooms and scans mirrored. So you again can see this MH4 scan we've done before. And now we want to go to export this scene. And we have a couple of possibilities here, but we go for Relux now and click on export. And this will now take us to the export wizard. So we again can see our scene and we have the two rooms. And what we want to do now is we want to separate these two rooms so they are perfectly prepared for the Relux import. So we just mark the elements we want to have for one room, and we say this is room 1, create a new group, and then we go to the second room. We again do mark everything that is in the second room, and we say this is room 2. And now we click here on room 1 and room 2. And this is something that will be probably coming next week, that we already can identify the right regulatory class. Now this is here still unknown, but this is coming very soon. And now we can go here on export to Relux. And you can see the export has been successfully started. And then we can go here on download. We can see it here. It's completed. It's now exactly the time here from now. We can click on download and get out this Relux desktop file. Before we jump into this, I will just show you here what you can also do in Metaroom Studio. You can open the scene and you can see also the red dots again. These are our points of interest from before. So we can click on one of them and we can also see the picture we've taken here. So it's an HD picture. And when it comes to the Outlook, we can see what else we can do with it. For now, we can see exactly the situation around the ceiling, which can be very helpful in planning activities. So let's jump to the Relux software. We go here on File. And as we have learned before, we can open a complete Relux project. So this is the MH4 we have downloaded and scanned together. And we can see here again our two rooms. And they are in this floor view aligned. And now we can click on one of the rooms. Let's take this one. We can already see it's perfectly prepared to do light planning. So all the evaluation area is here. We have integrated all of the assets. The window is here, the door is here. So all we need to do here is we go on luminaries. Yeah, we don't jump to ReluxNet, even if it's nice. And we add a luminary here. I place a couple of these here. I'm pretty sure all of you have more knowledge on light placing than I do, but for now it should be perfectly fine to at least demonstrate it. So we go on day and light calculation. And very soon we can see the result. Yeah, there it is. Now we can see the window has been recognized and also the luminaries are there as we want to. Okay, if we are done with this one room, we can jump back to the floor view and then we could do the other room in the same kind of workflow. And this can be done basically in unlimited size. So I can also show you some really big scans afterwards. This is just a very easy example of two rooms. Okay, I will jump back here and then go here. So as I mentioned before, when we started like 4 years ago, we've been very focused on single rooms. And 2 years ago, we started thinking about really big rooms. And one of the projects we have done not too long ago was a very large building in Vienna. It's a building from Siemens. And we've done it with the Metaroom app. It took us 20 minutes per floor. We have been told with other systems this was around about a day. So 20 minutes was really good. And what came out in the in-app reconstruction already on the preview was this. And then afterwards, we exported. This is now an IFC file. It looked like this. Every floor was around about 1,000 square meters. And we've done two floors. And everything you can see here was aligned and built fully automatically. So that's basically now possible for the last 10 days. This version is now out, where you can do this multi-room and also multi-scan. Multi-scan means that you can now, for example, if there is a large entrance area of a hotel, then you can do one part with one scan and another part with another scan, and the app will combine these two scans together. So we talked, whoa, sorry for the music. Now, we've learned about these points of interest, and this is another scan from a private house. We've scanned in preparation. So we again see the points of interest, and if we click on them, we've seen already we can open the picture. But then what we also can do in very, very close future, so hopefully next week, we can create assets out of it. So we can draw lines like this and then create special assets that can be transferred to Relux, like blocking surfaces. That's very, very nice if you have, for example, a ceiling and there is an acoustic element on the ceiling, or if there is an access point on the ceiling, you can create a point of interest, then generate an asset out of it using the feature you have seen now, and transfer this to Relux to have it in the light planning software. Now we can see this here in a little bit more detail. So we are again taking the points of interest, and what will be then coming in the close future is that we not only have to draw these lines, but we can also identify these assets semi-automatic and in future fully automatic. Like you can see here on the lower right side, then these points of interest can be automatically converted to blocking surfaces or special assets. Okay, so this is a quick one for the pricing. If you want to use the app, then there are different trial packages, as you can see here, but we have a solution for everyone. And if you are interested, then of course you can also contact us directly. Henrik is there for you to solve all the issues around it. If you create an account, then you have 10 exports for free. So you can test around if everything works as I've promised you all today. Okay, so of course we have also some channels where you can follow us for information. This is our LinkedIn channel and also the news site on our website where we post the latest information on development. Okay, so basically let's fly through Metaroom and also the Relux workflow. I will stop sharing here and I'm very happy to, talk with you about what we've seen right now.
Azar Khan has asked the question. He has a structure of around 60 meters in height, and he wants to make facade lighting design using this tool. Is it possible, Martin?
A structure of around 60-meter height. So we've done some early tests with drones, but there is nothing like that we can provide already to the market. So unfortunately, for very, very high structure, Metaroom is not built today.
Thank you. There you are, Azza. I'm sure that answers your question. And just once again, of course, this entire webinar is recorded, and you will receive the link in your email directly after this webinar. Azza also asks, what about AutoCAD 2D and 3D files?
So we do provide AutoCAD exports in the DXF format. So you just click on the export list, and then you choose the Autodesk interchange format, and then you can totally export DXF in 3D too. So that's possible.
Thank you. Fantastic. To answer your question, Azza, Nasiba Adams asked, is it possible to use Metaroom for exterior application, or is it only for interior?
So everything we have built has been trained with AI, and the AI training is only on interior. So it's possible to scan also buildings from the outside, and you will probably also receive windows and doors. But when it comes to complex structures in outdoor, then probably the AI will fail to understand because it has never seen this too much before. So I would say in general, you can of course try it. There are, for example, cases where you will leave the room and you go outside, and then you re-enter a room. And then basically you also get the wall outside a little bit, but it's definitely built for interior.
Okay. Sarkis asks the question, can it be imported into Dialux Evo?
Yeah, I've seen this question here 3 times, I think. So basically, we are in a very good cooperation with Relux, and this also created this powerful interface. So with all the metadata on top, like colors and semantic information on top, that makes life easier. So that's the I think the long answer. The short answer would be technically using a DXF, it's possible.
Okay, so there's 3 questions that answers those. Will it be useful for refurbishment or renovation projects?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple of users out there coming from the interior space world, like architects, but also interior designers. And they are very happy with the app so far.
Okay, one of the questions from Chinmay has already been answered about Android applications.
Yeah.
And it can be converted to 3ds format file?
So not directly, but you could go the way through another software. So for example, if you would export a Collada file or an FBX, and you can find a lot of software packages that allow to then again export into 3ds, but not natively. We don't natively write to 3ds, but you can go around Collada or FBX.
Okay, there aren't any other questions at the moment. I have a question for everyone. If you are still busy with this particular survey, please type a Y in the chat box. All right. And then I know that you're still busy and I'll wait for you. If you are not busy, then I will close this particular survey. Inside Relux, after being exported, can it be edited?
Yes, so it's a full parametric model, even if it's in Relux. So you can click on a wall and Relux will know it's a wall. You can change the properties, you can change the length and the height of the wall. So it's really an intelligent import that we built together. So yes, it can be edited like or similar to if you would have built it up inside Relux.
Right. Chinmay is asking a question, can we import LDT file format? The LDT file format is usually for the luminaires themselves. And can you do that directly into your scan or Metaroom? Or would they do that once you have the scan in the software into Relux that you can import an LDT file?
Yeah, so I think what connects to this LDT format is that we are working on light recognition. So in the future, it will be possible that you will do a scan and Metaroom will identify the position and the type of the light source automatically. And when this is done, we can use the LDT format or a format similar to it to transfer data again to Relux. So we have all the the necessary data that light needs to be described correct. What we can't do is it's always you can imagine it like a stream of data. So you will do a scan, you capture, then you go to Metaroom Studio, you augment it, and then you go to Relux. So this stream is always one direction. Of course, you can always jump back to Metaroom Studio and take a look at the scan you have done and augment different things, or take a look at the point of interest, or segment something else inside the point of interest. So you can create new assets and then again export. But import LET backwards to the system is not planned so far.
All right, there's a question here. Do you have plans on engaging with Dialux in the future?
Not on the plans right now, but yeah, I think we are all long enough on the planet that we know never say no to to something. So of course, Dialux is also a player on the market, and we have to respect it, of course. Yeah, so, but there are no plans right now. Yeah.